So here we are at the end of Unit 1. We're learning one final shape, and this is kind of the shape for all shapes. We've got our rectangle, oval, circle, line, label, regular polygon, and star, which that's a lot to remember. But once you start to realize, it's like, oh, for the most part, except for label, because label's weird, and line a little bit too. Line's kind of weird too. It's X, Y, and then size, and you can add all your extra stuff afterwards. That's a nice way of thinking about it. This other one, polygon, is what we're going to learn. So before is regular polygon. Regular polygon, all the side lengths are the same length. All of the angles inside of the polygon are the same. For a polygon, it's just a shape. You can make it whatever you want it to be. So the way we're going to make a polygon, and I guess I think I just said this, it's most related to line. Polygon goes polygon, and then x1, y1, similar to line, x2, y2, again similar to line, but then it can keep going. x3, y3, and then x4, y4, forever, for as many or as few of them as you like, minimum of 2, I believe, which is like super cool. I guess we can check polygons. Polygon, it has 0 acquired values. I guess you don't even need to, I mean, it doesn't really make any sense, but you can say polygon with nothing and then it just won't have anything created yet, because eventually you can see over here we'll be able to add points, but that's way down the line. It's weeks ahead of us, months ahead of us even maybe. But so, let's try making a polygon. I'll make a polygon at, oh, and then also notice, again, polygon. Fill, border, border width, opacity, all that stuff is there. Dashes, it's all there, right? All the classics. Let's make a polygon at, I don't know. What's around here? Let's move the star up over that way. Let's move the star up and to the left. So I'll make it 100 and then maybe 100. And now our star is up and to the left. And look at that. Polygon, there is no requirements. That's why, like it said, it's not going to complain even if you have nothing in there. But let's make this at 190, 200, so kind of a little bit to the left of center, still center for the Y. Move it to the right a bit. Let's go like 300, 200. Will a polygon make a line for us? Doesn't make a line. So even though it says, hey, I made a polygon, it's all good. I don't see anything. A polygon's not a line. So x1, y1, x2, y2 won't make anything. But the magic happens as soon as I add that third point in there, maybe at, let's go somewhere weird, 400, 400. And it's kind of difficult, like you have to remember, do these in pairs, right? I'm at 404, or really starting from the left, 190, 200, that's my first coordinate. 300, 200, that's my second coordinate. 400, 400, that's my third coordinate. And then, bada boom, it made this weird irregular triangle. If I want to add another side, and they get to kind of get weird, like they'll start wrapping over each other. If I do something crazy, like let's put this to 200, 100, I think that'll be center up a little bit. It's going to kind of like wrap over itself. And now there's only 4 points on this polygon, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. But because the fourth point wrapped around itself, it kind of came up over there. The way it works when it's making your polygon, it starts at the first point, then draws a line to the next point, then draws a line to the next point, and then draws a line to the next point. And it has this idea of like what's considered colored in inside of the polygon and what's outside of the polygon. And then you can always, once you're done putting your points in, put your optional ones in, right? I can fill this with orange, and then I can maybe put a border of blue, and now we'll have this like blue and orange polygon that's doing some weird stuff here, right? I'm not going to create a beautiful picture for you. That's how polygons work. As we're getting over here... Sorry for the announcements. As we're getting over here, lost my train of thought. Oh, yes. We're at the end of Unit 1. So you're starting to think about like making creative tasks. I thought I'd show a few that use polygons and all the fancy stuff, as well as a couple that make a really nice image just using a couple circles in our borders and stuff like that. So here's a few from students of mine that made these. I'm not going to show you their code. Their source code belongs to them, but I can show you the images that they created out of them. This one is phenomenal. This is using a lot of custom polygons to make the hair move around and stuff like that. Very cool. They got a label on the bottom. They're using circles and gradients, all sorts of stuff. Notice they did a kind of a cool thing with the heart where it looks like they made a custom polygon, and then you can see, I'm zooming as much as I can, they made like a little circle at the end to round off the edge of the heart there. Just crazy awesome image here. Here's another one. This is definitely using some different polygons, but then also our circles, some other regular shapes. Looks like I got some ovals over here for making the pumpkins. Got our labels, some stars in the background, clouds made of a bunch of ovals. Cool idea here. This one, love this image too, a bit more minimalistic, but it's really just using rectangles, maybe a line, circle with a border, and then a big rectangle here for the background, and then playing around with the color over there. Super cool. Here's one other one that looks like it's using just some of our basic images. We don't use the star. Oh, actually, we are using stars in the background there, but no crazy weird polygons or regular polygons as far as I can tell. We got a circle for the moon with a gradient, some lines, a bunch of other lines, some rectangles in the back. Looking good. So that is it for Unit 1. Hopefully this is helpful. Unit 1's kind of weird because there's so much information being tossed to you, right? I mean, all dealing first of all with just programming languages and how difficult it is to be like, oh, if it's not a capital, it's going to yell at you, or if you miss a comma or a parentheses or a quote. And then on top of all that, we're learning all of these different shapes and stuff. So really, really make sure you're solid at the end of Unit 1. You're solid with the coordinates, 0 to 400 in the X, 0 at the top in the Y to 400 in the bottom of the Y. Make sure you're generally solid, or maybe just write a little cheat sheet on the side. No harm there, right? You see me going back and forth with documentation all the time. A little cheat sheet that tells you, like rectangle, X, Y, width, height. Labels, you got to remember it's weird. Value, then X, and then Y. Maybe you want to write some of the ones that are specific, right? Label's the only one that has size. Everybody else has a width and a height or a radius. You know, really, really make sure you got this foundation down before moving on to Unit 2 because, you know, like this becomes the building blocks of much cooler things to come where we'll start making animated things, then games, and then more complex animated things in games. It's very cool. There's still a lot ahead of us in this class. So hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time. And, you know, peace out.